Hello and welcome to the Sports Show with Bob Spino, where the NBA and NHL playoffs are even closer to completion. The Yankees are dwindling. All other things sports happening now. Here with Bob Spino. How you doing, Bob?
Great, Rob. How you doing today?
I'm not too happy with the Stanley Cup Finals. I think it would have been a more entertaining finals if the Islanders had won. I think
Well, against the
Tampa Bay is just in mop up duty now, and I don't see Montreal squeezing out a win here.
well, I said on the big show that I thought Montreal was going to get in there, but in the end, Tampa would probably win it. It looks that way right now, but I still think Canadians will come back somewhat. They haven't played a home game yet, and they're much better there, and they got a good goalie. And I mean, they should win a game or two. Who knows? Maybe it'll go seven. That's very possible. So, but Tampa is the best team, so that's the way it looks right now.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if Montreal won more than one game at home here. I think at best it's a 4-1 deal, but Montreal really has only had one good period against the Lightning. That was the second period of the second game. Other than that, they've looked completely outmatched. 2-0 is basically a 3-0 hole as far as I'm concerned with Tampa Bay. So I think we can put a bow and tie up the NHL for now. I think Tampa's got it.
Well, you know what though? The thing about Montreal is they've been underdogs in pretty much every round. They play teams that are better than them, and they've found ways to get to where they are. So I'm not going to rule anything out. And they got a great goalie, so it wouldn't shock me if they won a few more games. It looks like Tampa Bay at the end of the day, but Montreal does look like they've been in this spot, so they're pretty tough.
I mean, I think for any chance, yeah, they have to even the series at home. That's it. That's all they got.
Well, they have to win.
3-1 going back to Tampa. I mean, 3-1 is death sentence.
Yeah, they have to win pretty much all three games at home. They got to take it seven pretty much because they're down 2-0 already. And they've got to win all three and have any shot and then try to steal one of those games in Tampa. So it doesn't look good. They have to win 4 out of 5, but you never know. That's why they play it. So,
and I mean, Kucherov, hockey players, I think he has broken ribs playing, just like Drew Brees, broken ribs play.
Right.
Nothing stopping him. Playing great too. I mean, broken ribs, every breath, painful. They got to come to win.
I know not the Tampa, but the Vegas player was playing with a broken leg the whole time against Montreal. He didn't tell nobody. He announced it after the series was over. So, yeah, they're tough people. I mean, they'll play, unless they're dead, they're going to be out there pretty much playing. That's how they are. They're tougher than some of the other sports, I can tell you that.
No argument there, Bob. But on the other side of things, the NBA, I can't rule out the Hawks. I think the Bucks will take it, but I don't think the Hawks are done.
The Hawks may win the next game because it's in Atlanta, but there's no way they're winning 2 times against Milwaukee. Milwaukee's just a better team. Giannis is hurt. And you know what? My brother didn't know about it. He was at the Dodger game the night he got hurt, and I was texting him. And he goes, how bad is he? I go, well, there's no damage. They had the MRI. And, when I talked with him the next day, I go, what do you think? And he said, well, the thing about that is the longer they're out, the longer they don't play means the more serious the injury is. And the team's not going to tell you because they don't want Atlanta to know how bad it is. But unbelievably, Atlanta's star player is out too. And he must be pretty bad, or they both must be pretty bad, or they'd be in there right now playing. So yeah, the longer a guy stays out, the worse the injury is. And they're just not going to tell you anything. That is right. Actually.
So we don't know what's going on with Giannis.
Look, I think it's bad. They always call it a sprain. You know what else my brother said? Some guys are tougher than others and can play with pain. Other guys, they get a hangnail and they're out for a month. So it just depends how much physical pain you can take and still go out there and try to play. He even said Joel Embiid played with a torn knee pretty much. He just went out there and kept playing. And so some people are tougher than others, that's all. But I think they're both pretty bad. But I think in this round, it will not hurt the Bucks. In the next round, if Giannis don't come back, yeah, that's going to kill them because Phoenix has the home court. Phoenix has a monster center, Aton, I think his name is. They went to Arizona, who was he was a star. I wanted the Celtics to get him. We had so many picks, we just never. It didn't come up our way, so we never had a high enough pick to get him. But the guy's a superstar. I mean, he's getting like 20 and 15 every night. He's a real center. And the game still won aside. Now, Chris Paul's getting all the credit, and it's nice. He's doing well. But Booker and Aton are the real stars. See, you can't win without a Chris Paul never won without a center. Kobe never won without a center. Because he had to get Gasol in there. Because he was going to leave and go to the Bulls. He warned the Lakers. You don't get me a player, I'm leaving because we can't win without Shaq. He told them that. And that was true. You still can't win without a center. Any team that does that, I mean, even Golden State had Bogut until he got hurt. And when he got hurt in those finals, that's when LeBron lucked down and won. Because if he didn't get hurt, LeBron wouldn't have won that year. All Kyrie's three-point shot or not, they wouldn't have won. You still need a big man. And you know who knows that? LeBron. That's why he got Anthony Davis. He was the best big man out there, and that's why he got him. You know, I mean, you can say whatever you want about this ridiculous three-point shot, three-point line, whatever. Bottom line is it's still one inside. It's still an inside game. You know, I mean, the Nets didn't win it because they didn't really have they had no defense inside. But, you know, they almost did it because, you know, Durant? I mean, he's 7 feet tall. Durant's 7 feet tall. People forget that. You need that big guy. So, and that's what it is. And I think Phoenix will win the title if Giannis doesn't come back. And I was watching Giannis the other night. He took a three-point shot and he threw up an air ball. And I'm like, I never seen a superstar throw up so many air balls in my life, whether it's in a big game or even in a little game, whether it's on the foul line, because he does that all the time on the foul line, or the three-point line. I mean, this guy's got to learn how to shoot. You know, what's he doing in the offseason? Well, he's not working on his shooting, I can tell you that. These guys are well paid, and they need to learn how to play this game. It's a joke, and this league's a joke. It is not that good. The players of the past would have killed these guys. It makes me laugh when they talk about the 92 Olympic team. That team was a legend team. No team's ever been better in the world or in the United States. It's a joke. So, I mean, but, you know, it's a shame for the Bucks because if he can't play, it's going to be another year that they didn't win. But it's going to be great for Phoenix because they never won it. You know, the Bucks have one championship. Phoenix has zero. So either one is going to turn out really good for some city.
The Suns are getting some much needed rest. If the Hawks tie the series with the Bucks, it's another two, make it another 2 games.
Yeah, I know, but
John is not coming back. The Bucks could be totally worn out going into play a very recuperated Sun. They're going to have, even if it ends to, when are the Bucks and Hawks playing tonight or tomorrow? It is tonight.
Yes, tonight.
So even if it ends tonight, it's still another 2 days at least until the final series starts. That's extended another day or two if it goes to Game 7.
Yeah, Game 7 will be on Sunday. But you know what? I don't like the extra rest, Rob, during playoffs. I don't subscribe to that magazine unless you're hurt. I don't subscribe to it because if you take too long a rest, you get rusty. I think that's a better argument than they needed the rest because they're used to playing every night in this league. All year they do it, every night. And you know what? If you sit out too long, you always have a lousy first game. You're not focused, and the other team could come and snip you. That just came off a grueling 7-game series. That happens a lot. And then in Game 2, you'll recover and you'll be okay. But in Game 1, no. Remember,
I don't think that's going to be the case. I mean, it was still a 4-2 finish in the West. The Suns win 4-2.
Well, it will be, Rob.
And the Bucks series could end tonight. So they're not even going to have a week off.
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't think it's going to end tonight. It's going to be about a week because even if it goes till Sunday, they won't start the finals for another couple of days because that's what the NBA does. It's going to be about a week. So, or maybe even a little more than a week. So,
Well, I agree with your point long term. If it's the rest is too long, yeah, the team
yeah,
can be rusty. But
yeah,
there can be that sweet spot where it's like 4 or 5 days where okay, they can heal, they can really recharge and not have it be a cause of lethargic play when they get back into the mix. Uh, I would see it as a problem. Say a team won 4-0 sweep, then the other matchup was a game 7, and then that team just fought for their lives, but you've been sitting for over a week. Then I could see your point totally.
yeah.
But I don't think that'll be the case with the Suns. I think it's just the perfect sweet spot of
Well,
rest.
I'm calling this right now. I think Atlanta's going to win tonight's game. I honestly do. I think Atlanta's going to win. You know what? My friend called me the other day, and he's on Atlanta's bandwagon. He's a net fan. Oh, they're gonna, and he's giving me all this about Giannis ain't going to play in Game 5 and this and that. And after listening to him for a while, I'm like, that's nice. That's all great. Now I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The Bucks are going to win the game, and they did. They won by I think 11 last night. Oh, what was it last night? So maybe the game's on Saturday. I don't know. In any case, it doesn't matter. I think the next game is going to be Atlanta's. So, and he just went on and on and on with it, and I was just like, yeah, that's all great, but the Bucks are going to win Game 5, and they did, And I think Atlanta's going to win Game 6. And I can't hear you, Rob. Your mic is off, I think.
It's okay. I did that on purpose, Bob. No worries. What were
Okay.
you saying?
Oh, okay. No, when I was talking to my friend the other day, he was going off on all this. He thought Atlanta had a chance in Milwaukee in Game 5, and I said no. And finally, after listening to him, I was like, no, you're wrong. Milwaukee's going to win, and I just think Atlanta's going to win Game 6. It's probably going to go 7, and then boom, the Bucks are going to take them out. That's what it's going to be. You got to remember how important the home court is in basketball. It's real important. 82% of the time that home team wins, and even higher in the playoffs. So, you can break it down with all these players and teams, and even in back years. But the home court has a lot to do with it. It takes a really great performance on the road to do it. And usually, I always used to say this years ago, here is the best players, here is the home court. When they collide, somebody falls, and a lot of times it's the player and not the court. It doesn't matter who's playing. It doesn't matter if Jordan's playing. He didn't win the one year when, he came back. Shaq had the playoffs, and they beat him.
What I'm wondering though, what is it that differentiates the advantage of the home court for basketball as opposed to hockey? It's not as significant in hockey.
No, it's
more
not.
so,
I
but
told you
more
that.
so in the basketball. What is the reason for that?
It's a simple reason. Because even though in both arenas the players are close to the fans, you don't score enough in hockey. So even when you're the home team, you have an advantage, but it's not as big because the energy that comes from the fans that fuels the players gets snipped off. In basketball, you're scoring every time down. So, and there's constant action. So the crowd is always on fire, pushing the home team, and that fuels the home team. So they start playing at a higher level. And that's the reason why. In hockey, you just sit there half the time and nobody's scoring, and you're like this. You don't know whether to cheer or not.
So we actually have a question from a member of the audience, Bob.
Yeah.
It's Smart and Final, and he's asking, are you going to get the new Jumpman ears?
Junkman ears?
No, Jumpman ears. I have no idea what he's talking
about. Yeah, you got to find out what he's talking about.
Yeah, you're Smart and Final. Why don't you maybe describe or provide a link to what Jumpman ears are?
Yeah,
and if you want an opinion from either of us, because we're not aware of
what we don't know what that means.
Yeah.
If he means
Sounds
headphones,
cool.
I've got a few. If you want me to wear the headphones.
Jumpman gears. Who knows?
Jump?
Maybe it's a jump,
like
as in you're jumping, like man is a man in gears, like gears turning. Jumpman gears. So who knows if that's studio equipment or a sports thing? We don't know.
Right.
So the distinguishing between the home field and the home ice, it's a matter of it's basically the nature of the game. what you're saying.
Yeah, it's the nature of the game. I mean, the energy gets snipped, from the fan to the player. The energy doesn't go through. It's almost like somebody cut the cord, cut the wire. But not in basketball. It's a direct link. I mean, it goes
So
right
so
to it.
Smart Finals actually said that Jumpman Gears is the new UCLA sponsored gear by Michael Jordan.
Okay, we're behind it. I got to call my brother and check into that.
So that means you're going to get rid of your Under Armour UCLA shirt?
Under Armour is gone. Actually,
Yeah.
Nike's in. He's absolutely right. We become a Nike school. That I know, and which means we're going to be a dynasty again because all the good kids coming out are in the Nike program. And I mean, Duke is Nike. All the colleges that were, get all the great players are Nike for the most part. So, and now we have gotten rid of Under Armour. That is correct.
So yeah, we had some guests on here that mentioned that was a significant advantage. I never realized it was that a big deal. Whether it
Yes,
was Adidas or Under Armour, Nike, which sponsor,
used
I
to
didn't
be
realize.
Adidas a
I
while
didn't think
back.
that actually mattered. But there's
No, it absolutely
major
does.
influence. They run the AAU circuits apparently. So yes, so it should help UCLA.
Oh no, we got there. We already know. My brother already told me we're going to get much higher grade kids coming in to play basketball and football because of it. Absolutely, we've already got a good class coming in. Although I think we just lost two of our players for next. I mean, the one kid is going pro. That had the great tournament, and Chris Smith, who tore his knee, is going. He's not coming back from what I just read, so I don't know. I'll ask my brother about it though. I hope he comes back. He was our team leading scorer, but we'll see.
What's going on in baseball?
Oh, I love it. Michael Case, I think I watched the show again the other day. He's crying. Like he was almost crying. And Don LaGreca was just all over him. And he's like, well, if you and Steinbrenner came on, the owner, and he had a team meeting even before that breakdown the other night. Did you see what happened the other night? The Yankees were runs on Ohtani in the first inning. And they're up 7-2 in the first. And it stays that way till maybe the fourth or fifth. And eventually the Angels make it like 7-4. And then in the ninth inning, it looked like the game was over. They brought in their closer. And it was this time it was 8-4. And they shouldn't have brought their closer in because it wasn't a close situation, first of all. Chapman comes in. And by the way, he's a good closer, but he's not a great closer. He gives up a lot of big home runs and a lot of big games. Just ask the Astros, they'll tell you that. And he comes in, he walks the bases loaded, Rob. Walks the bases loaded. He's got no fastball, so he's just laying pitches in there. It looked like batting practice. The kid comes up, smacks his second homer of the game, boom, 8-8, just like that. Then he proceeds to put more men on, and with 2 outs, gives up a big hit, and they end up losing 11-8. So the next day, okay, look right, he's crying. And Steinbrenner was going to come on and address the issues anyway. But after they lost, he came on and he basically said it's not the coach's fault. It's not Cashman's fault. And I personally think it is. But because he put that team together. But it's the players' fault. He blamed the players all the way. And they're arguing back and forth. And LaGreca goes, would you, if you're Steinbrenner, put money into the team? And Kay goes, I would absolutely not right now, because I would tell Hal not to do it, Hal Steinbrenner, because that would and he goes, yeah, because LaGreca goes, that would show that the Yankees are all about money. Well, we always known that. They've always had more money from Babe Ruth on down. That's why they won the most titles. And then he goes, and this is important. He goes, that would prove that the core four meant nothing. No, dummy, it wouldn't prove that. Because you know why? Every once in a while, the farm system is like a farm. You get a bumper crop year. That year, the Yankees did. And then once they had it, then Steinbrenner did the rest with his money. He just said, okay, we're almost there, but we're going to put a couple pieces in place in late July, trade deadline, to make sure we win it. And he would always do that. Because if he never did that, the core four wouldn't have won Zippo. It would have been great individually, but they wouldn't have won nothing. It was always about Steinbrenner and his money. We used to know that. I was, as a Met fan back then, somebody would say, do you hate the Yankees because they put money into things? I go, no, I hate the Yankees because they exist. I think what Steinbrenner's doing is great. I wish the Met owner would do it. The Met owner is paying Bobby Bonilla $25 million for 25 years. He hasn't played for the Mets since 1995. And to make matters worse, they're having a bobblehead night, or they did. No, they're having one when the Mets go this weekend against the Yankees. Only the Mets would have a bobblehead night. That's how pathetic they are with a guy that's taken them for $25 million for the last 25 years and hasn't played for us since 1995. That's how bad we stink. That's how bad we stink. No kidding. That's the epitome of our history as compared to the Yankees putting money in and getting it right. Now we have a new owner. He's like Steinbrenner used to be. I want to see him get my players because the first year so far he hasn't. We can't hit the ball.